Binti, KPM.
Hey everyone, welcome to Sukses SPM 2022 with me Chris MJ, and today we will be focusing on Bahasa Inggeris, and this is where our teacher will be sharing strategies and tips on how you can score the best in SPM. Alright, without wasting any more time, let's welcome today's teacher. That's right, pupils. For today's lesson, Bahasa Inggeris, we have teacher Liyana with us. Hi, teacher.
Hi, Chris.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And before we proceed with today's lesson, I also want to welcome teacher Saiful from Sekolah Menengah Pendidikan Khas Vocational Shah Alam as our sign language interpreter for today. All right, teacher Liyana, without further ado, as usual, before we start any class, we need to have classmates. So, let's welcome our classmates and students and pupils on Google Meets. Hi, everyone. Okay, teacher, could you please introduce our pupils for today?
Okay, we have 4 friends here today with us. First, we have Arif. So, Arif, if you could just wave to everyone.
Hi, Arif.
And then we have Rashada.
Hi, Rashada. Nice to meet you.
And then we have Alisha.
Hi, Alisha.
And then we also have Umaira.
Hi, Umaira. Okay, as usual, I always ask my friends this. Are you ready for today's lesson? If you're ready, give me a double thumbs up. Okay, everyone giving a double thumbs up. We are ready. Teacher Liyana, how about we start with today's lesson? What are we going to focus on today, teacher?
Okay, we're going to focus on the reading paper for SPM.
All right.
Okay, so this is our focus, reading for specific information. And this is a very important skill for SPM English paper. Our first topic would be dictionary to the rescue. So you might wonder, why dictionary? So before we go any further, let us just review SPM Paper 1, Reading and Use of English. So as you could see here, there are 5 parts in total. So for part 1, there's a total of 8 questions and it also carries 8 marks. Next, for part 2, there's a total number of 10 questions and it carries 10 marks. For part 3, there's a total question of 8 and 8 marks as well. Meanwhile, for part 4, we have 6 questions and 6 marks. And then finally, we have part 5, 8 questions, 8 marks. So that brings up a total of 40 questions for paper 1 and a total of 40 marks for paper 1.
Okay.
Okay, so now we are going to look closer at each of the part. So this is part 1. Okay, for part 1, it's what we call shorter text. As you could see over on the left-hand side, there would be 2 questions over there, and there would be several types of short text. Okay, so for example, the first one is a notice, and the second one is a voucher. Meanwhile, the next part would be attention to all students, so it's a notice as well. And then towards, for number 6, it's a dialogue. Okay, so there's a variety of text types for part 1. And it's a multiple choice question whereby whereby pupils would have to choose A, B or C as the answer. Okay, that's for part 1.
Understood.
Okay, next would be part 2. This part is called the closed passage. So as you could see over on the left-hand side, there's a text and there's several blanked parts. Okay, so the pupil's task is for them to identify the suitable words to be filled in the blanks. And there's a total of 10 blanks that we could see over there. Okay, so that's part 2. This is part 3. For part 3, it's what we call longer text. As you could see, it's quite long compared to the first part. And then they would have 8 comprehension questions. It's also a multiple choice question whereby they would have to choose the answers between A, B, C, or D. This part is also known as the reading comprehension. Okay, meanwhile, this is part 4. We call it the gap text. So as you could see in the text, there are several gaps, those little boxes over there.
Yeah.
So the pupil's task would be for them to select the sentences over on the right-hand side and to fit it into the gaps.
Ah, okay.
Okay, and it's a total of 6 questions. Next, for part 5, there's 2 sections to this part. The first part would be statements, and it's the pupil's task to match the statements with the suitable paragraph over on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, for the second part, as you could see, there's a few sentences with blanked parts.
Yeah.
So pupils, for each of the sentence, they would have to identify one word from the text to be put in the blanks.
Oh, all right. Understood.
Okay. So that's the whole of paper 1, briefly.
Okay.
As you could see, there's lots of words.
Yes, there's a lot of words, teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why, hence, it brings us to the topic of dictionary.
Okay.
Okay, why do I say so? So let's have a go. Okay, we have this extract over here. Can I get somebody to read this, please?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Alisha, why don't you read the text?
When her husband passed away, Sarah inherited the Winchester Gun and Rifle Company, which had made the Winchester family very wealthy.
Okay, thank you, Alisha. Now I have this question over here. What do you do when you find words which are not familiar? So in the text, the yellowed word inherited, there might be some people who wouldn't know what it means. Okay, so guys, what do you do when you find a word that you do not know? Anyone?
I usually refer the meaning of the word in the dictionary.
In the dictionary. Okay then, so why don't the 4 of you try to find the meaning of the word inherited in the dictionary?
Oh, okay. Do all of you have your dictionaries ready? Yes, they do. Wow, look at that. I didn't bring my dictionary. But teacher, I usually use the internet. I usually just Google the image or Google the meaning of the word. I think that is another possibility. Is that?
Definitely. Yeah. Let's say if you don't have a physical dictionary with you, you definitely can look it up in the internet or even online dictionaries.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so could anyone tell me what's the meaning of inherited?
All right, who has the meaning?
Teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
Arif, okay.
So inherited is a past tense form for inherit. That means to receive property, money from somebody who has died.
I see. Okay, so Arif, can you share with us how do you look up the word in the dictionary, the word inherited?
So firstly, I find this section for letter I. And then I find, I search for IN. And then, yes, I found the inherit word.
I see. So you go according to the alphabet, right? Starting with the letter I and then IN because it's inherited. Okay, thank you for sharing with us, Arif. Okay, so people, this is the meaning of inherited. Received from someone who has died. So it could be inherited money or inherited property or inherited wealth. So over at the bottom, we have the example of how the word inherited is used in a sentence. So after his parents died, he inherited 3 houses. So that's how you use it.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yeah,
what
sure.
if we don't have a dictionary around? How can we find the meaning of the word?
That's a very good question because you know, in exams or in certain conditions, we don't have the dictionary.
Yes.
We may not even have our gadgets to look up what the word means. Okay, so now everybody, what we can do is for us to infer the meaning from context. What do I mean by that? We can make an intelligent guess of what the word means. Okay, for example, let's just have a look over here.
Okay.
Okay, we have the word inherited, right? So we refer to the sentence before it, which is when her husband passed away. So what does it mean? It means that Sarah's husband died. And then we look at the sentence after inherited, the Winchester Gun and Rifle Company, which had made the Winchester family very wealthy. So over here, we know that somehow it involves money and maybe property because there's wealth. So we connect the two ideas. Somebody has died, and then it involves money and wealth. So inherited may mean that Sarah gets a lot of money.
Okay,
So that's how you do it.
All right, thank you very much, teacher, for sharing on that, in case we don't have a dictionary around. Well, teacher, how about we take a short break? Is that all right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, for those of you watching at home, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with teacher Liyana for Bahasa Inggeris Sukses SPM 2022.
Didik TV KPM. Didik TV KPM.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Sukses SPM 2022 for Mata Pelajaran Bahasa Inggeris with me Chris, MJ and teacher Liyana, and today we will be focusing on paper 1. Is that correct, teacher?
Yes, paper 1.
The reading part of the paper.
Yep.
Okay, so let's proceed with today's lesson then.
Okay, now we are going to proceed to understanding specific details and information.
Okay.
Okay, so for viewers at home, you can refer to our textbook, download pages 18 and 19 for this text. So as you could see here, we have a text entitled A House of Mystery on the left. And on the right-hand side, we have 5 comprehension questions. Okay. So how do we understand the details and information in the text? And this is very important because in order for us to answer the 5 questions, we really need to understand the details and information.
Okay.
So this is what we could do. We need to read each paragraph and we need to identify the main idea so that we know what it's talking about. Okay? Okay, so we have this text. Can I get somebody to read this, please?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
In 1884, heartbroken Sarah Winchester left her home in Connecticut on the east coast of the USA, as well as the gifts of her husband and only child, and traveled across the country to California, where a strange obsession awaited her. Did she know that it would last for the rest of her life?
Okay, thank you, Rashada. Rashada, can you just tell us what's the main idea of the paragraph?
This paragraph is about Sarah Winchester, who her husband and only child died. So she's heartbroken and traveled across the country.
Okay, so it tells about Sarah Winchester and how she's heartbroken and has traveled across the country. Okay, let's look at the next paragraph. Anyone?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Umaira.
When her husband passed away, Sarah inherited the Winchester Gun and Rifle Company, which had made the Winchester family very wealthy. After the deaths of her child and husband, Sarah fell into a deep depression and decided to consult a medium. According to some sources, the medium explained that her family was being hunted by the ghosts of American soldiers and others killed by Winchester rifles. Supposedly, the deaths of her daughter and husband had been caused by the spirits, and Sarah Winchester might be the next victim. The medium said that to keep the ghosts happy, Sarah had to build a huge house for them. As long as she never stopped building the house, her life will not be in danger.
Okay, thank you, Myra. Can you tell us what's the main idea of this paragraph?
For this paragraph, the main idea is Sarah found out that the deaths of her family were caused by the American soldier spirits, and the solution to this is for her to build a house and never stop building it.
Okay, thank you, Umaira. So Sarah found out that supposedly the deaths of her family members are caused by the ghosts. Okay, so thank you for that, Umaira. Next one, we have this paragraph. Anyone?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Arif.
Sarah left Connecticut for California. There in 1884, she bought a small unfinished farmhouse, and over the next 38 years, she employed builders around the clock to add on room after room, story after story. The building work never stopped, not even for weekends or holidays, and it produced the house known today as the Winchester Mystery House. It originally had 7 floors, but after an earthquake in 1906, it was reduced to 4. Apart from the house's strange architectural features, including a staircase that leads up to the ceiling, doors that open onto walls, and secret passages that run between rooms and behind walls, it was also unusually large. At the time of Sarah Winchester's death, it had 160 rooms, 2,000 doors, 10,000 windows, 47 staircases, and 13 bathrooms.
Okay, thank you, Arif. So what's the main idea for this paragraph?
So in the last paragraph, it stated that Sarah needs to continuously build a huge house so the ghosts won't bother her. So this paragraph describes how is the house and how did Sarah continuously build the house.
So it focuses more on Sarah's building of the house. Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Arif. And then we have this one. Anyone?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Alicia.
Sarah Winchester had strange habits too. Apparently, she never slept in the same bedroom 2 nights in a row because she wanted to confuse any evil spirits that were waiting for her. She also used to visit the blue room at the center of the house every night to communicate with the good spirits. She would ring a bell at midnight to call them and again at 2 a.m. when it was time for them to leave. She would wear one of 13 special colored robes and ask them for guidance on her construction plans.
So what's the main idea of this paragraph, Alicia?
The main idea of this paragraph is about Sarah Winchester, who had strange habits to confuse the evil spirits.
Yeah, about Sarah Winchester's strange habits. Thank you for that, Alicia. And then we have these 2 paragraphs over here. So anyone?
Yes, teacher. A year after Sarah's death, the house was open to the public. Since then, many people have described strange experiences there. Neighbors claim to hear a bell ring at midnight and at 2 a.m. The caretaker heard the sound of a screw slowly turning, then hitting the floor. He looked everywhere, but found nothing. Tour guides have reported seeing a ghostly workman with a dark mustache in the basement of the house. Is the house truly haunted? No one can say it with any certainty. But it is a fascinating story, and the Winchester Mystery House is still open for visitors who want to find out for themselves.
Okay, so Rashada, what are the 2 paragraphs talking about?
These 2 paragraphs are talking about strange experiences that happened after Sarah's death, but no one can say it for sure.
Okay, yeah, it's about, again, the strange things that happen even after Sarah's death, but nobody's sure. There's no certainty as to what happened in the house. Okay, thank you guys. So we have identified what each paragraph means. So we somehow have a clearer idea of what the text is about. Okay, so after we have done that, now our next task is for us to attempt the questions.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a very important tip. This is also taken from our download textbook. So try to answer multiple choice questions in your own words before you are distracted by seeing the answer options. Once you think you know the answer, look at the options. If you see the answer that you anticipated, circle it and then check the text to be sure that it's the correct answer. So that's quite a lot. So I've broken it down into these easier steps.
Okay.
Okay, so it's suggested that we follow these steps. Number 1, we need to look at the question. So first, we need to look at this question over here. What does it at the end of the first paragraph refer to? Then, after we have looked at the question, the second step is to find the answer in the text without looking at the distractors. Meaning, after this, you go straight to the text. Do not look at A, B, C, D yet. Okay?
Okay.
So number 3, when you have the answer, compare it to the other option. So we have to find the answer in the text. Okay, so pupils, could somebody help me and find what is the answer for this question?
It in the last paragraph refer to an obsession.
Okay, correct. It would refer to this one, the strange obsession. So we have identified the answer. Now we can compare this to the answer options over here. We have A, traveling, B, California, C, Sarah's life, D, an obsession. So Rashada, which one is the most similar to the answer we identified in the text?
The most similar answer is D, an obsession.
Okay, yep, correct. It's D, an obsession, because it directly matches the one over here.
Wow. Okay.
So that's the technique of how you answer the reading comprehension part.
Okay, good job, Rashada.
Okay, so for the next one, let us try a few questions.
Let's try.
Okay, so viewers at home, you can find this question in page 19 of download.
Okay.
Okay, so question 2. According to the medium, why did Sarah's daughter and husband die? So that's the question. Okay, could someone help me and find the answer in the text? Where is
Yes,
it?
teacher.
Okay, Alisha, where is the answer?
The answer is in the line. Her family was being haunted by the ghosts of American soldiers and others killed by Winchester rifles. Supposedly, the death of her daughter and husband had been caused by these spirits. That's where the answer is.
Okay, so that's the answer that we get from the text. Now next, the next step is for us to compare the one we've got in the text and the options A, B, C, D. So option A, the ghosts of gun violence had killed them. Option B, they were very depressed about the war. Option C, so that Sarah could make the ghosts happy. Option D, both had been shot dead by the soldiers. Okay, so which one matches the answer that we find in the text? A, B, C, or D?
The best answer is A. The ghosts of gun violence had killed them.
Okay, so now let's have a look. Yeah, correct. The ghosts of gun violence had killed them. So if we look at the answer in the text, ghosts of American soldiers, so this points to this part. Okay? And then the deaths of her daughter and husband had been caused by these spirits. So this
Ada
points,
ghosts.
yeah, had killed them.
Okay.
Quite scary, the ghosts, huh?
Yeah. Good job, Alicia. So this is 1 mark, right, teacher?
Yes, this is
Okay.
1 mark. Okay, thank you. So now let's attempt another question.
All right.
Viewers at home, you can also find question number 3 in our textbook download, page 19. Okay, so number 3, what did Sarah Winchester find in California? So after we have read the question, now this is the text. Can someone help me to identify the answer?
So there are 3 points for this question. That is, for the first point is she bought a small unfinished farmhouse.
Okay.
For the second point is she employed builders around the clock to add on room after room. And then the next one is the building work never stopped.
Okay, so you've identified those parts. What did she find? She bought a small farmhouse, she employed builders, and the building work never stopped. Okay, next we need to compare the one we have from the text with the options that we have on the left-hand side. So for number 3, option A, a house with 7 floors. Option B, a house she could continue to build. Option C, a house full of mysteries. And option D, a house damaged in an earthquake. Okay, so Arif, which option matches our answer?
The most suitable answer is B, a house she could continue to build.
Okay, let's have a look.
Okay.
Yeah, it's B, a house she could continue to build. And this is so, if we look here, she bought an unfinished house, meaning it's somehow there's no work being done on the house. And then she employed builders, meaning she employed people to do something with the house, and the building work never stopped. So it correlates with this. It matches with the option B.
All right, good job, Arif. So everyone had their marks. Congratulations. And thank you so much, teacher, for sharing these very insightful tips on how you can answer the reading portion of paper 1. All right, how about we take a short break? Is that okay, teacher?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, for those viewers watching at home, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Sukses SPM 2022.
Didik TV KPM. Didik TV KPM.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Sukses SPM 2022 with me, Chris MJ, and teacher Liyana for Bahasa Inggeris, and we are focusing on reading for specific information. And for today's lesson, I am joined by 4 friends, Alisha, Arif, Rashada and Umaira. Give us a wave. Hi. Okay, teacher Liyana, we are ready for our next topic for today. Can you please share with us what are the tips and strategies for this paper?
Okay. So now we are going to focus on SPM Reading Comprehension. So in paper 1, this is part 3 where you've got the longer text.
Wow, this is so long, teacher.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is the text, and this is actually taken from module Hit English SPM, page 52 till 54. But this module is exclusive to Sabak Bernam. But anyway, viewers at home, you can continue and do it with us as we go along.
All right.
Okay, so this is the text, part 3. You are going to read an extract from an article. For questions 19 to 26, choose the correct answers. So that's the instruction that we have. And then, this is the continuation of the article, and there's a total of 8 questions for the long passage. And it's all multiple choice. And you've got to choose between A, B, C, or D as the answer.
Okay.
Okay, these are very useful tips on answering SPM Reading Comprehension Part 3. And we can go to it and look at it from a step-by-step perspective. Okay, so first, what you need to do when you've got the paper, when you've got Reading Comprehension Part 3 would be for you to read the passage and questions at a glance. At a glance meaning you read it once and then you get the main idea. Okay. Number 2, for you to underline keywords in the questions. Number 3 is for you to refer to the paragraphs in the passage that are related to the questions. Number 4, find the answer in the passage without looking at the distractors. Number 5, when you have the answer, compare it to the other options. And number 6, choose the best option.
Okay.
So these tips, I think it's very useful, and it's a step-by-step guide. So everybody, we can try this. Okay?
All right.
Okay, so now we are beginning with step 1. We need to read the passage at a glance. Okay, so now I need the help of our friends to read it for us. So anyone?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, can you read it, Alisha?
Lily is an amateur photographer. She just picked up photography as a hobby. Last year, when her parents gave her a digital single lens reflex DSLR camera, it was given to her during her 17th birthday. She had never expected to get such a wonderful gift. Lily has always wanted to take pictures of the people around her and also her beloved pet dog. However, she never had a proper camera of her own. Before her birthday, she had mentioned to her parents that she really wanted the camera. She was even willing to use her own savings to get it. She was so determined to choose the best camera that she spent many weeks scrolling through websites and scanning books in the library for camera recommendations. She wanted to make sure that she would get the camera that she needed the most. She didn't want to regret her decision later.
Okay, Alisha, can you just briefly explain what the 2 paragraphs mean?
This paragraph tells about Lily's passion in photography and also how determined she is to get a camera and choose the best camera that she wants.
So it's more about Lily's passion and how she really wants to get the camera. Okay, thank you, Alisha. Okay, the next part, anybody?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
She even did research on what type of lens to buy. Lily realized that it was important to get a good quality lens as it would determine how detailed the photographs will be. If she had to use her own money, she would have a lot of big decisions to make because she was on a very tight budget. Therefore, she was very grateful that her parents got her the camera that she wanted. Since Lily and her family travel more during the school holidays, she takes the opportunity to use her camera at that time. Her younger brother, who also shares her passion in photography, sometimes uses the camera too. Most people think that photography is just about taking pictures of eye-catching sceneries and landscapes. However, in reality, there is so much more than meets the eye. For example, there are fashion photography, food photography, documentary photography, and the list goes on.
Okay, Rashada, what's the main ideas for these two paragraphs?
The main idea of this paragraph is Lily did some research about the lens to buy, but she was on a very tight budget. Fortunately, her parents got her the camera that she wanted. The next paragraph explains some example of photography type.
Okay, so it's about Lily and her tight budget and also the types of photography that's available to her. Okay, for the next part, anyone?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Arif.
Lily enjoys photojournalism and candid photography. Photojournalism is journalism that uses photos to tell a particular story, hence sending a stronger and powerful message to the audience. This type of photography often reminds her of human struggles, such as how people in other parts of the world are fighting for their freedom. She also enjoys taking candid photographs. Candid photography is where the subjects are not aware that they are being photographed, thus making them appear less tense and relaxed. This allows Lily to fully capture the emotion of her subject, making her photos more realistic. Lily feels that photography has allowed her to see things from a different perspective. For example, when she photographs something at a lower level, she will get a different effect from when it is taken at the eye level. Furthermore, she has learned to express herself more creatively through photography. She is also more innovative by making use of all the resources she has. For example, she has to find substitutes to create dramatic effects in her photograph to resemble those she sees in magazines.
Okay, thank you, Arif. So what's the two paragraphs talking about, Arif?
So the paragraph is about the type of photography that Lily enjoys and likes. The next paragraph is about the thing Lily get and learn from the photography itself.
Okay, so the types of photography that she enjoys and also the things that she somehow learns, looking at things through different perspective. Okay, for the next part, can I get someone to read this?
Teacher, can I help?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. Along the way, Lily has learned a lot on how to improve her photography skills. In order to learn some inexpensive and creative tricks to enhance her photographs, she watches videos on YouTube. She practices taking lots of pictures as she believes that it is the best way to sharpen one's skills. By taking as much pictures as she can, she is able to learn more about the tips and tricks in photography. Lily realizes that she still has a long way to go to really be excellent in photography. In spite of that, she knows for sure that when she snaps a picture, the moment freezes in eternity. When she later looks back at her photograph album, she will always be reminded of the good memories and all the people she loves.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris. Okay, so for the first part, it's more about on what Lily has learned, and towards the end, she realizes that she still has a lot to learn. Okay, so that's the ending of the long paragraph. Okay, next. Before this, that's step 1. Now it's steps 1 and 2, where we need to read all the questions at a glance. Before this, we have read the text at a glance. Now the questions. And we need to underline the keywords in the questions. Okay, so for questions 19 and 20, can I get somebody to read this and identify the keywords?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Alicia.
For question 19, in paragraph 2, how do we know Lily was determined to get a camera? The keyword is Lily is determined to get the camera.
Lily being determined to get the camera. Question 20.
In paragraph 3, why was Lily thankful that her parents had given her a camera? The keyword is Lily being thankful to her parents.
Yeah, Lily being thankful to her parents. Okay, next for questions 21 and 22. Can I get someone else to do this?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Rashada.
In paragraph 4, why does the writer use the phrase more than meets the eye? The keyword is more than meets the eye.
Okay, the phrase more than meets the eye. And then question 22.
In paragraph 5, why does Lily prefer taking candid shots of her subjects? The keyword is prefer taking candid shots.
Lily preferring taking candid shots. Okay, thank you, Rashada. Next, we are moving on to questions 23 and 24. Can I get someone to do this?
Yes, teacher.
Okay,
How
Arif.
do we know? How do we know that Lily is a generous person? The keyword is generous person.
Okay, Lily is a generous person. Number 24.
What has Lily learned from being a photographer? The keyword is what has Lily learned.
What has Lily learned? Okay, thank you, Arif. Next, for questions 25 and 26.
For question 25, what is Lily's preferred method to improve her photography skills? The keyword is Lily's preferred method.
Okay.
And for question 26, why is photography Lily's passion? The
Okay.
keyword is Lily's passion.
Lily's passion. Okay, thank you so much, Humaira. So we have identified the keywords in the question, and it's very, I highly recommend that we underline the keywords. So it will help and guide us later.
Okay.
Okay, so for the next one, now we are going to go to the third step. Okay, we have question 19. In paragraph 2, how do we know Lily was determined to get a camera? Our next step is to refer to the relevant paragraphs. So we know now we are supposed to look at paragraph 2.
Okay.
So the ones here, this is actually paragraph 2. So we need to focus on paragraph 2. So that's the next step. Okay, then the next one, find the answer without looking at the distractors. So can I get someone to help me and find the answer?
For this question, we can look at the third line. She was even willing to use her own savings.
Okay, she was even willing to use her own savings to get it. So remember, after this, we look at the answer. The next step, in which we have done that, we have identified the answer. Now we need to compare it to the other options. We've got option A, her parents bought a camera for her. Option B, she always liked photographing people around her. Option C, she had wanted to use her own savings to get the camera. And option D, she looked through books in the State Library for camera recommendation. So could somebody tell me which one's the answer? A, B, C, or D?
The balance related answer is C. She had wanted to use her own savings to get the camera.
Okay, now let's have a look. Yep, she had wanted to use her own savings to get the camera. So over here you could see that those two match. Okay, and the final step is for us to choose the best option. Okay, let's try another question. Okay, question 20. In paragraph 3, why was Lily thankful that her parents had given her a camera? So we know that now it's about paragraph 3. So this is paragraph 3. Could someone help and identify the answer in the paragraph?
Yes, teacher.
Which part?
The most relevant line is the fifth line.
The fifth
If
line.
she had to use her own money, she would have a lot of big decisions to make.
Okay, so she's thankful because if she had to use her own money, she would have a lot of big decisions to make. Now we compare it to the options A, B, C, or D. So which one do you think is the best answer, Rashada?
The best answer would be D. She needed to adjust her spending if she is to buy the camera.
Okay, now let's have a look. Okay, yes, correct. It matches because if we say adjusting her spending, this would be the decisions that she has to make. She had to adjust her spending if she is to buy the camera.
Wow. Good job, Rashada.
Good job. Okay, next, question 22. In paragraph 5, why does Lily prefer taking candid shots of her subjects? So anyone would like to find the answer here? This is paragraph 5.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Alicia, which part?
We can find the answer on the last sentence, which is this allows Lily to fully capture the emotions of her subjects, making her photos more realistic.
Okay, so she prefers to take candid shots because it fully captures the emotions of her subject, making her photos more realistic. Okay, so now we compare it to A, B, C, and D. So which one is the most relevant to the answer we have spotted?
The most suitable answer is D. Her subjects appear lifelike in photos.
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, correct. Appearing lifelike means you could see the emotions, and then you could also, most importantly, emotions, and her photos become more realistic. So yeah, the answer is D. And then we have one more question. Number 25. What is Lily's preferred method to improve her photography skills? So could somebody help and identify which parts is the answer?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Arif.
So the answer is in the second last sentence, which is she practices taking lots of pictures as she believes that is the best way to sharpen one's skills.
Okay, so Lily's preferred method is she practices taking lots of pictures. So between A, B, C, and D, which one do you think is the answer?
The most suitable answer is A. She takes a lot of pictures.
Okay, yep. It's correct. She takes a lot of pictures. So this is taking a lot of pictures. And then if we look at the question, preferred method, this matches with the statement the best way to sharpen one's skills.
All right. So good job, Arif. Congratulations on answering. And I'm sure these tips that teacher Liyana has just shared has been very, very useful for those of you watching at home as well. Before we proceed any further, we'll be taking a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here with teacher Liyana here in Sukses SPM 2022.
Didik TV KPM. Didik TV KPM.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Sukses SPM 2022 with me Chris, MJ and teacher Liyana for Bahasa Inggeris, and today we are focusing on reading for specific information. And my classmates for today on Google Meets, we have Alicia, Arif, Umaira and Rashada. Give us a wave, hi! Okay, we are excited to keep learning. Alright teacher Liyana, could you please proceed for our class for today? Over to you, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Let's search. So what do you think we're searching for?
What are we searching for, teacher?
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to play a little game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's called word search. So we are going to search for words. Okay, as you could see over on the right hand side, there's 4 words. Number 1, find. Number 2, compare. Number 3, best. And number 4, dictionary. So your task, pupils, is for you to search for the words inside this box where there's lots of alphabets. Okay, so who could help me and find number 1, which is fine?
Okay,
Anybody?
But before that, I also want to tell all my friends watching at home as well, pupils, you can try this along together with us here. Okay, who would like to try first?
For the
Yes,
word
me.
find? Okay, Arif.
So the word find we can found in the second column and third row.
Second column, third row.
row.
Okay, this one, find.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, thank you so much, Arif. So, Arif, can you share with us, using the word find, what's the step or the technique that you can use when you want to answer the SPM reading comprehension question?
So after we have read the question, we need to find the answer in the text first without looking at the answer options.
That's a very good one, Arif. We need to find the answer in the text first. Do not look at the answer options.
Oh, so these are the tips, teacher.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
We relate the words to the
Right.
suitable tips.
Very good. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Arif. So the number 2 word that we have to find would be compare. So anyone would like to help us?
Wow, this is a long word. Okay, let's see if we can
Yes,
find
teacher.
So which part can you find the word compare?
The word compare is in the 6th column, 3rd row.
6 columns, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
it. Wow, Alicia, you're
Third row.
fast. I couldn't even find it.
She has
Compare.
very sharp eyes. Okay, so the word compare. Okay, Alicia, what can you tell us using the word compare? What's the best tip that you can share with the viewers about answering the reading comprehension part?
I think we can compare the answer we find in the text with the other 4 distractors given.
Yeah, because first Arif has stated we need to find the answer. So once you found the answer, now we need to compare the answer with the other options in the text. Because our reading comprehension question, it's a multiple choice question. So you would have to compare it with the options given. Okay, next, number 3 would be the word best. Anybody would like to help us with that?
Yes, teacher. So the word best, you can find it on the 4th column.
4th column, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. Here is the word best.
Okay.
Okay, what would you like to share with us, Umaira, what the word best tells us about some of the steps or techniques for reading comprehension? Or maybe anybody else, if you would like to share?
So yes, teacher.
So Arif, what can you share about the word best?
So after we have compared, we need to choose the best answer.
Okay, thank you so much, Arif. So once we have compared all the options, we need to pick the best answer, the one that matches the text, the answer in the text that we found. Okay, thank you, Arif. And number 4, we've got the word dictionary. So anybody would like to identify that? Where can we find that?
Oh, wow, this is a long word.
Yes, teacher.
The
word dictionary is on the 4th row.
4th row.
4th row. Oh,
So
there
1,
it
2,
is.
3, 4. Okay, so up towards the end. Okay, thank you, Rashada. That's quite a long word. Okay, what can you share with us about the word dictionary?
When we find the word that we are not familiar with, we can refer to the dictionary.
That's a good point. Let's say as you do your exercises or as you read, you find words which you do not know the meaning of, you must refer to the dictionary. So the dictionary helps us answer the questions better.
All right. So these are the 4 steps that teacher, maybe could you summarize the 4 steps for us, the 4 tips for us to tackle these reading questions?
Okay, in order for you to answer reading comprehension question, these are 4 best steps, I would say. So first, when you read the question, you go and find the answer first in the text. Do not refer to the options A, B, C, D yet.
Okay.
Okay, read the question, then you go find the answer in the text. So maybe once you find the answer, you underline it, so it would be highlighted, and you would notice that that's the answer. Second step, once you've got the answer, you need to compare it with the options A, B, C, or D. Which one is the closest to the answer? Okay, once you have compared them, then you pick the best one. Okay, so for the word dictionary, you need to use the dictionary to help you. Let's say if you have words which you're not sure of, then you refer to the dictionary.
Okay, so we have few steps that you have shared with us today. But I would like to ask you, teacher, what is the most important step in answering this reading comprehension question? Is there the most important step that you could share with us?
Okay, I know that there's a lot of steps, but I think the most important would definitely be number 1, find.
Okay, so finding it in the passage itself.
Yep.
All right. With that, I want to say thank you so much to teacher Liyana for today's lesson. I learned a lot. Did you guys learn something today? If you did, give me a thumbs up. Yeah? All right. Amazing. Thank you so much, teacher. And thank you so much to everyone watching. We hope and wish you all the best for SPM this coming year. With that, we will see you again only on Didik TV KPM. Bye, everyone.